didn't have that much time. And Frank Zappa and the mothers were at the best place around. But some stupid fool with a flare gun didn't burn the place right to the ground. And all I saw was smoke on the water, fire in the sky. I saw smoke on the water, saw they had to find another place, but Swiss time, it was running out. They thought that they would lose the race. No, I saw smoke on the water, fire in the sky. I saw smoke on the water, saw let's have a woo! A little bit more reverb on my voice, please, Gabe. In my mind, indisposed, in disguise, no one knows hides the face, and lies the snake, the sun in my disgrace. Boiling heat, the summer sweat beneath the sky, the earth looks red, call my name, and through the cream I hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Oh, won't you come? Stuttering, cold and damp, feel the warm, a tired friend, time to gone for an honest man, and sometimes far too long for snakes. In my youth, boiling heat, in my youth, I pray to keep heaven sent ahead of way, 'cause so much. So it all began with rock, you see. I love the idea of taking really heavily, highly testosterone songs and turning them into sexy female things. Do you understand? You see the joy in that, don't you? I took the cod out of the piece and it made me so happy. I feel, thank you for laughing, Lee. What would I do without you, honest to goodness? It's his gig. That's the main gig, obviously, that, and the carrying of the shopping bags. So the thing is, he is the best road husband in the world, the Sherpa. Ooh, I got caught up. He is, he's amazing. And then the bass, you know, that's not. It's incidental. It's incidental, but it's bloody great. But what those two things have in common, and which I love, it is, I mean, I did Smoke in the Water because I couldn't understand what the hell was going on. You know, I didn't know what they were talking about. So I thought I would readdress this and then make it into sort of like a song that was about, you know, like it was a story of old. You know what I mean? Like it was something really important. Like it was an Arthurian legend. So I treated it that way, and then I brought the heat by, you know, the heat, the fire, I guess, by going to Brazil, because there is no greater fire than when you take it to Brazil. And then, of course, Chris Cornell, Black Hole Sun. When the first time I heard that, I remember thinking, that is the greatest musical approximation of depression I have ever heard in my life. And then I saw the video, you know, which is all the melting faces, and it sounds and looks like someone wading through molasses. I have experienced a great deal of the Black Dog in my life, no more, thank God. And I understood this so much, and that's why I wanted to cover this song. But obviously, could never come close to the original, as I say again. I wanted to do it justice, because my experience of that was I was having my game face on, you know, that bright, joyful face, just to make sure people didn't know what was really going on. It was a distraction to make sure you didn't see what was inside. So that's why I thought I'd turn it into a Brubeck Take 5 type piece, which was the exterior versus the interior. And I'm very pleased to say that both the members of Deep Purple and Chris Cornell and his family were huge fans of my versions, and that makes it so much sweeter. I think that's the anointment, you know. That's the blessing that I look for. And then we go from the sublime to the ridiculous, really, because then we go into musicals. That's the end of the rock for tonight, by the way, if you thought that. Well, there'll be some later. I'm not going to give it away. But that's where this ends. Sort of. So, now I heard this song, and it was in a film that I was crazy about when I was a kid, and it's all very like 50s, you know, Bobby Sox type stuff. But to me, how I read my life into this song, and I have to tell you before I start singing, because otherwise it'll make no damn sense, is that when I was reading the lyrics, and that's how I figure out my life in them, like we all do, by the way, when you hear a song and you feel your life in it, because music's the soundtrack to all our lives. I'm just taking it to a much more extreme degree, you know, but this is what we all do. We see our lives in it. And for me, this was about my first serious love, who I would have ended up marrying. I thank God he screwed up and went and had sex with someone else, because otherwise I would have married him, and it would have been a disaster, and I wouldn't have been with my wonderful husband today. And he came home from a trip abroad and said, I fucked up, you know, I screwed up, and I did in fact have sex with someone else. But it didn't mean anything. It never does it? It never means anything. Interesting. And can we work through this, he said, can you forgive me? And I tried, I really, really tried. But I'm too much of a drama queen. I couldn't, you know, it just didn't work for me. Because ultimately everything came back to hating him and being angry and making him suffer. And I couldn't, as much as I want, I love the way, the women are all laughing, the other guys like, yes, well. So basically, you know, I tried, but I couldn't stop thinking about them together. Everything came back to me wanting to know everything and nothing and everything. So think about this when I play this song. Some loving you had a blast, some loving it happened so fast. You said I met a girl who's crazy for me. All those summer dreams ripped at the seams. Oh, but those summer nights, she swam by. It got colder, that's how it ends. I bet you told her you'd still be friends. Do you wonder what she's doing now? Summer dreams ripped at the sea. Sitting here, eating my heart out, waiting for some lover to call. I dialed about 1,000 numbers lately, almost ran the phone off the wall. I'm looking for some hot stuff, baby, to see. I need some hot stuff, baby, tonight. I'm looking for some hot stuff, baby, to see. Tonight, whoa, 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 Nicely done. Wow. Can I hear an oh yes?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Are you feeling like hot stuff here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in Milwaukee? It just feels, again, it feels so wrong. I'm just looking out the window, it's daylight, there's car park, there's people going past. I don't know. I don't feel that there's enough dirt in this room. Or maybe it's just the lights are down. Maybe there's tons of dirt, and grime, and sleaze, and sex. But I feel you were probably dancing in your chairs, doing some good cheek dancing. Now, those last songs, those last two songs, what can I say? Well, you know, I introduced the first one, as we all know, Grease. Yeah, Grease. That song is winging its way to Olivia Newton-John, Summer Nights as we speak. Let's hope that, well, she will, she'll love it. Otherwise Lee will go over and personally get on a plane and sort her out, put her straight. It's another thing he's really good at. After that, of course, the incredible hot stuff. I mean, really, and this is the thing I like. I was in München. I mean, you know about, you're a German city, really, aren't you? Milwaukee's a German place, isn't it? I've seen the names of your beer. I get the feeling that this is a very German place. Oh, none of you are going yes. Is this are you embarrassed? What is it? Ja, ja, meinen Kinder. Gut. Well, the reason I say this is because every time I play in Germany, which I do a lot, because it turns out the Germans love me. I open every show by saying German, the language of love, and it gets a huge laugh because the Germans are so full of humour. And no, I jest. They buy lots of my CDs, so they're fucking brilliant as far as I'm concerned. That little thing that happened. Let's just let bygones be bygones. Come on. So I see you more as cheese people, so I'm okay about this. Cheese and beer, that's how I see Milwaukee. It's all going to be okay. So anyway, what I'm trying to get to before sorry, Lee, I know the beard, I know. So, yeah. So, in Munich, and then I suddenly realised that that's where Giorgio Moroder did all the great discos. Of all places in the world, you wouldn't think disco would occur, would you? München. You know, it just doesn't make sense, does it? But that's where Donna Summer was just doing the hot stuff, and she was a good Christian girl, and then she got to be a real, like, sex bomb, demanding it, you know, it's fantastic. But anyway, the other good news is, and I keep saying this, but it's my dream is to make sure that every one of these songs gets to the writer or the performer or the people that created these songs, because I respect them and love them so much, and to get their approval. So the writers of this song actually said, we very much like the song that Judith did. We love her version of hot stuff, it's really hot, yeah. Something like that, I don't know, that was Wim Wenders, I don't know what happened there, just like channeling him. But now we come to my favourite part of the set. It is the Joni Mitchell hour. Can I have it? Ooh. Yes. Joni Mitchell, the patron saint of female singer-songwriters. She is the reason why people like me are able to do what we do, just because the woman was fearless and is fearless, and knew that to be emotionally intelligent and brilliant musically was the thing, and to not be afraid of mixing genres and styles, and why not mix folk and jazz and rock and pop and everything else for that matter. This is this is our language. This is what music is, the language. And growing up in a very classical house, in fact we were all classical babies, but growing up in my father was a very successful opera singer, so it was opera and classical music, but then Black American music all the time, all the way, every kind of world music going on in the house. And when I came very late to Joni Mitchell, it was in that period where people seem to overlook it now. It's like the late 80s, early 90s. And I really feel that some of her greatness it's always there, but I wanted to draw attention to those songs that are sadly overlooked. And here's one she wrote for Larry Klein, who was her husband, her bass player, her producer. They broke up, but they're still entwined around each other. And funnily enough, Larry, before I got to my true, bass partner here, Larry was the first person that played bass on my records when I came to America. And this is a song she wrote about how when women like me, like her, are tomboys, and they want to be one of the guys, and they want to go down the river in Milwaukee in the day and drive a boat. We actually did that today. We got, what were they called? What was that boat called? What is it? It was just like what are those renter boats on your river here? What are they? You know, those things? Yeah, like a pontoon. We took it down and he gunned it through the harbour. It was fantastic. We were waking like lunatics. It's great. This is my idea of the greatest joy in my life, is hanging out with the guys, with the chaps. And every so often, pre my husband, because now I'm, you know, happily married woman, every so often in the past, you know, I would think, do they not, I kind of like that guy, does he not notice me at all? Or even know that I'm fit? Well, no, of course he doesn't. I'm climbing trees. You know, it's just like... She nailed it with this song, Ladies Man. Why do you keep on having to trying to make a man of me? Oh no, yeah. Well, I met heartbreakers, but you take the cake, you do, yeah. Ladies man, you could charm the diamonds of a rattlesnake, you could, yeah. Ladies man, those ladies get on over when you give them a glance, you know they don't stand a chance. First you unfold them, then you bid you ladies man. No, you're ladies man. Oh no, you're such a... Well, I'm sure it takes a lot of good and self-control. Ladies man, 'cause I'm so hard for you and you're so cold, so cold. Ladies man, why do you keep on trying to make a man of me? Could you just love him like you love cocaine, like you love cocaine? You're a ladies man. Oh no. Cross my heart, I swear I'm not trying to take you on tricks. Ladies man, it's just a strange feeling I have for you, nothing heavy. Ladies man, I guess you learn to refuse all the things you can't handle well. You're acting like a vendor, crushing the dream at the very first dancing. You're a ladies man. Oh no. You're a ladies man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. You're such a ladies man. You're a ladies man. You're a ladies man. You're a ladies man. Oh no, ladies man. And then there's this. A song I think speaks as loud, if not louder today than it did when she wrote it. One of her finest. Cherokee Louise is hiding in this tunnel in the Broadway Bridge. crawling on our knees. We've got flashlights and batteries. We've got cold cuts from the fridge. Last year, around this time, we used to climb up in the branches and just sway there in some breeze. Now the cops are on the street. They want my Cherokee Louis. Cherokee Louis. People like to talk. Tongues are wagging over fences, wagging over phones. All the doors are locked, but you can't even come to our house. But I know where she'll go, to the place where you can stand and stretch your hands like it was bubble bath and dust piled high as me. Down under the street, my friend, Cherokee Louis. Tuesday afternoon, we put our pennies on the rails, and when the train rolled by, we were running round like fools, going look, no heads, no tails, sing, look my lucky bride. Then she runs home to her foster dad. He opens up his zipper and he asks her to her knees, oh, please be here, please, my friend, Cherokee Louis. Can I have a huge round of applause for these amazing guys, please? So fearless was she, way back. I think probably Suzanne Vega maybe, and she were the only two people. I mean, there are probably more, but I only think about those two as having songs about abuse, sexual abuse. It's just so exquisite and so beautiful and so fearless, and of course now we're all talking about it and it's out and we're all having this discussion in life, but she said it when it wasn't okay, and it was still so closeted, and she's a remarkable human being. So that is the end of the Joni Hour, as I like to call it. Okay, it was 15 minutes, but you know, I feel I could go on all night. Now, I didn't just want to do songs that were looking to the past, things that I've grown up with, things that mean so much to me from my life. I wanted to do contemporary things too, so I decided that I would venture into songs that are hits now and find my truth and my life in them, and this one is particularly touching for me. I think we've all done this in our lives, especially if you're musicians, but even if you're not, all of us do it, we all do it. We put the headphones on, don't we, as kids, as adults, it doesn't matter, and you're transported, and you are rejuvenated, and you are lifted out of whatever funk and sadness you might be in, and that is what music is all about. But I have a clear memory of being a kid and not being so happy and being afraid and being anxious and not having such good brain chemistry, and being in the dark in the music room, my parents' front room, with the headphones on, listening to Stevie Wonder or Aretha Franklin or Oscar Peterson, whoever it might be, whoever, you know, reached me, dancing like a maniac, just thinking that was my life. Losing myself in that, thinking that, you know, this wasn't who I really was, living outside London in suburbia. Short, red-headed, scared person. I thought I was that person on stage, and it saved me, as it does all of us, all the time. So that's what I read into this song. So think about that kid, I guess, and how we've all done it. I got sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I've got hot blood in my body when it drops on, and I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Room on lock, the way we rock it, so don't stop, 'cause under the light everything goes, nowhere to hide when getting you close. And when we move, you already know, so just imagine, I can't stop the feeling, so I dance, can't stop the feeling, so I dance, can't stop the feeling, so I dance, yes, I keep on dancing, 'cause I've got sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet, I got hot blood in my body when it drops. Oh no, no, and I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Room on lock, the way we rock it, so don't stop it, 'cause underline everything goes, nowhere to hide, getting you close. I keep on dancing. Oh, so I I can't remember if we were here with Bryan Ferry. I can't remember it. Close, but not touching. So I've been on the road for quite some time with these fabulous gentlemen, opening for Bryan Ferry, and I had to cover one of his songs. I felt duty bound, although purely because it's my favourite of his songs, but also because I found it so moving. I can't do the romantic version. He wrote it as a romantic love song about who knows what happens in the future. For me, it's about acknowledging how important the here and now is, and that without the people around you who you love, as I feel every time I'm out on the road, we all do, when you miss people, when you're away from home, you're with your best friends, but you still end up sitting at the end of a bed at the Radisson Blu after your gig, wondering what the hell happened. And I still think, you know, unless you have those people around you to share, there is nothing more than this. I could see at the time there was no way of knowing, falling leaves in the night. Who can say where they're blowing? I was free as the wind, hopefully learning while sea on tide had no way of turning more than this. Well, there's nothing more than this. Tell me one thing more than this. More than this. There's nothing. It was fine for a while. There was no way of knowing, like those dreams in the night. Who can say where we're going? More than this. Thank you so much. And I was really missing my husband when I decided to cover that song. But in some ways I was missing my dog a bit more, you know. No disrespect or anything, you know how much I love him. And I wish he could have been, I wish he was here with us tonight. It would be fantastic. But I do miss my dog, Doris Day. And Lee misses the Bassetts, you know. It's hard, They can't get on a plane as easily, you know, as you'd think. It's tough for them to travel. But I Facebook my dog daily, and she hasn't got a fucking clue what the hell's going on, because obviously there's just a load of blah, noise coming out and just lines. But I stare at her longingly, and sometimes it makes me feel worse. But hey. But the good news is that we do have a very, very special guest, a friend of the family, playing here with us tonight, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Where is it? That thing back there, the actual size that was written down. We know that Shank Hall is the spiritual home of tap, and it fills me with joy and pride that during his time now promoting this incredible record that he has out, Smalls Change, a meditation on aging, that we should be joined by a dear friend, and please welcome, and I need you to go absolutely ballistic crazy for the incredible Mr. Derek Smalls. Yes. It's unbelievable.
Thank you, Cleveland.
No.
A few words to say first. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah, that's all right.
Don't worry about it. I'll come out of your check. It's great to be here at the spiritual home of Spinal Tap. This is, I believe, you know, we've been all over the world. We've played all kinds of places. I believe this is the only place we've played twice. Many of them have closed down after we played them, as coincidence, insurance fires, whatever. But this place remains due to the stubbornness of its owner, and we pay tribute to that. It's great to be. I'm not quite in full nick tonight. I was in the middle of a tour with symphony orchestras. We did one show in Milwaukee, and this is Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this wouldn't be where we did the show. This would be where I am now. We did the show in New Orleans, which is the Milwaukee of the South.
It is.
And things were going great, but you know, I have I'm not the lad I used to be, and to remain in some kind of shape, I have an exercise regimen, and people often say, Derek, what is your secret? What's the exercise regimen? Well, you know, if you read up on exercise and physical things, that nothing is better for the heart and the lungs and the legs than running against the resistance of water. You know this, right? You go in the ocean or you go in a pool, ideally, and you just run against the water, and you build up your lungs, and you build up your heart, and you build up your legs. And I don't have a pool. But I thought, I do have a tub. And I mean, you only get the resistance up to here, but still. And so I was doing my routine, and the telephone rang, and I, you know, lost my focus, slipped, fell, cracked a couple of things, so everything's on hold. But I did learn a great lesson, a life lesson from all this, which is, don't run in the bloody tub. So you can tell your children that. Now this is a song from the tour, from the record, which is called, is it Judith? Judith. It's called Smalls Change. Meditations upon aging. Because when they gave me the money to do the record, they said, what's the idea? I said, well, the idea is you give me money and I do a record. They said, no, you need a concept. I said, well, you know, they say write about what you know. I know I'm getting older. And they said, well, that kind of limits the demographic appeal, don't you think? And I thought about it for a minute, and I said to myself, I said, Derek, I call myself Derek, and I keep talking myself. And then I said to them, without saying Derek, I said, there's only two kinds of people in the world, people who are getting older and dead people. So I'm aiming at the active part of the market. So this is one of those songs you may know if you're into tap law, and if so, God bless you, that I have a certain spiritual affinity for the Supreme Evil One. I helped write Christmas with the Devil, Spinal Tap, near classic Christmas song. Thank you. Thank you. All proceeds go to us. And, you know, I do think about Satan and his days, and you may think this is a bit shallow, but I even think about how he thinks about how he looks. And I'm looking up now, but that's not where he is. We all get older, Satan does as well. He's getting weird and wrinkled in his comfy little hell. He don't need plastic surgery, his horns will stand the test, but some hairline augmentation make him look his best. Hell to pay, hell to pay. Some flame-proof glue will do. Hell to pay. People pleaser, no, scaring is his game. He'd prefer his dome ain't gleaming if it's all the same. His realm could still be hellish if he had a mop to flop. You'd still rue the day you met him with some coverage on top. Hell to pay, hell to pay. When it goes, old Satan knows there's hell to pay. Never be a looker, no, he's not a stylish dude. He gets his chicks by bringing a devilish attitude. You can't improve on brimstone, fire is great as well, but a better looking Satan could make a better hell to pay. No drug can beat a rug, hell to pay. Lucifer. The prince don't need his darkness anymore. Get him a cold for Christmas, hell to pay. Judith Owen, Pedro Segundo, one of the world's great sit-down bass players, Leland Sklar. Thank you.
Mr. Derek Smalls, surely a standing O. Surely a standing O, I would have said. Now, that was fun, wasn't it?
He's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. I've got my things all caught up now. I got so excited.
I wish Harry could have been here.
I wish Harry could have been here to see this too. That would have been amazing. But now the really, really good news is that there are, in fact, CDs, along with the CD of Rediscovered, which is my latest. We do have a few copies of Smalls Change. Can I have a ooh? Ooh. Yeah. There will be signings, there will be touchings, there will be beards, there will be strokings.
Wow.
Yeah. But onwards. After that, where can you go? I don't know. Probably out of hell. Maybe that's what. Out of the devil. Out of the devil. But you know, I'm gonna sing a song for my husband. Is that all right, guys? Yeah. It is the moment, isn't it? It's the right moment. Yeah. Now that we've gone to Satan, the Satanic Clause brought it out of me. So that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Derek. And so you know, I don't know about other women in this room. I get the feeling that they're all going to agree with me here at some point. And the men definitely will. But for 15 years, I tortured my husband because he refused to bring me anything or buy me anything on Valentine's Day, because he said that it's a made-up Hallmark holiday card excuse to make money, and it's about how you treat the person the rest of the year that counts. And I thought that was shit. I have to tell you, I thought it was absolute cobblers. And I said, and I made his life hell. And it would start every day by the disappointment in the morning, and then I'd hurl myself on the bed, hysterical, tantrum all day, really, really make him suffer. And then it would be okay until, you know, the next year. And after about 15 years, I suddenly realized, crap, he's right. And it is how you treat, you know, it is how you treat somebody all the time. Not just that one day, it's all made up. But because I'm a coward, and because we are married, and therefore I cannot actually form the words, "You're right," I decided to write a song instead that said those things, you know, because it's like, it's "You're perfect now, change." You know the whole thing. Women are really good at this, by the way. We do this as a sport. So, here's a song about loving somebody for exactly all the reasons that they irritate you, you irritate them. That's what marriage is, isn't it? It's fantastic. It's called "That's Why I Love My Baby." My man likes to keep it on the inside. I know, don't go for all those lengthy phone calls. When he's here, don't you know he says it all. That's why I love my baby. Why I love my baby. I said that's why I love my baby. And I do. I do. baby aims to please me. So back to the covers. And again to my husband. It all comes back to Harry, really. I said to him, "What is the most ridiculous cover I could do? What's the furthest thing away from me, my style and my sensibility as a musician?" And he came up with this. He didn't even bat an eyelid. He immediately came up with this idea, and it was brilliant because he knew I could run with this one. And so I studied the words, because most of the words were meaningless to me, as in it was not my life. It has nothing to do with my life now, or ever for that matter. But what I read into this song of myself was a particular relationship I had, which was so one-sided. I mean, haven't we all been in one-sided love affairs? You know, the ones where you are crazy about somebody and you are unwilling to accept the fact that they're really not that into you. I mean, it's the truth. And sometimes you're on the other side and you don't really care that much for somebody, but they're crazy about you, and that's kind of awkward, but less painful, I would say. The man I'm thinking of absolutely tortured me inside and out, because every waking moment was about watching the phone, every waking moment was about finding out what he was doing, where he was going, mutual friends, asking questions, and then he was such a mean person. And of course I took it because it made me want him more, that he would even bring other women to my shows, which I thought was a nice touch. So think about that. And do not judge me. You used to call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. 'Cause I know when that hotline bling, it can only mean one thing. I know when that hotline bling, it can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you got a reputation for yourself now. Everybody knows it and I'm left out. Well, you got me down, you got me stressed out. 'Cause ever since I left the city, you started going out more. Champagne on the dance floor, hanging with those girls I've never seen before. You used to call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. 'Cause I know when that hotline bling, it can only mean one thing. I know when that hotline bling, it can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you and me, well, we just don't get along. You make me feel like I did you wrong, going places where you don't belong. Ever since I left the city, you got exactly what you asked for. Running out of pages in your passport, hanging with those girls I've never seen before. So call me on my cell phone. Call me on my cell phone. Call me on my cell phone. Call me on my cell phone when you need my love. And then there was this one as well by a very famous Brit with also with red hair, who I'm sure you all know of. That was of course Drake, Hotline Bling. I think we all knew that, didn't we? If we didn't, where the hell have you been, you people? But yeah, so what can I say? One-sided love. So I wanted to cover this next song because it was everywhere and you couldn't get away from it. You know, it didn't matter where you were, the supermarket, the gynecologist, the dentist, it didn't matter really. It was just coming out, the pumped music, you know, the pipe music coming out. And I felt duty bound to cover it. But again, I thought Drake was, you know, would be hard, but actually Drake was easier. I couldn't find anything that I related to because most of these songs, I mean, pretty much, they're Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling, Drake, this one. It's all about going to clubs, hooking up, having sex. It's fantastic, you know, and that's wonderful. But that's really not my life anymore. And so, that being said, I then read through all the words, and then I hit the gold. I found it, and it was a throwaway line right at the end. that he just throws away, and he says, "Put on Van the Man and follow my lead." He's listening to Van Morrison. What? Incredible. So immediately it made sense. It's Van Morrison, or Van Morrison, you know, who he is, what he listens to. It's Stax, it's Philly sound, it's everything that is Black American music, and I so related to this, and I thought, okay, so in this time, I'm going to take the Grease route, and I'm going to turn it backwards in time, and I'm going to do it like those gorgeous women, like the Raylettes or something, you know, those great women like standing up and just being sexy and lusty and fantastic. So here's my version. That being said, very lusty version of this song that I think you all know. Let's see how we do it. We might need some help on the clapping, but let's see how we go. Okay. Put it on the faster side as well, wouldn't you? Yeah, I think so. A little bit. I think it'd be good. Yeah, yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah. I'm bringing the kind of the funk and the lust that only a white girl from London can bring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're getting close to the end now.
No. Aww. Come on, no.
Lee, that was pathetic. You said these people were on your side because you were born here. What the hell is going on here? And you have friends in the audience?
I moved away early.
Christ almighty. Let's try that one again. No, wait, darling. Coitus. So we're getting close to the end now. Okay. As long as these lashes stay on, I'm singing. That's all I'm saying. That's the kind of girl I am. Yeah? Again, almost worthless round of applause, wasn't it, really? I mean, let's be honest, no, that was dreadful, wasn't it? Should we try that again? And applause. I love you, I do. Because, I've lived, it's like, because I actually live between London and New Orleans, so I get used to going back to Britain and then hearing the, oh, very good. Very nice. Very nice. And that makes me want to throw up. And then I go to New Orleans and it's like, and then I become used to that. So I'm somewhere between, I'm somewhere between the middle of those two places. I'm kind of a Brit, but the stick has been removed from my arse. And, surgically. So, yeah, don't you think? Yeah, are you guys having a chat or are you agreeing with me? What's going on over here?
I've heard it.
Oh, you've heard it before, it's all right. So, fucking hell, you know what I mean? They are so disrespectful. I know, I love them so much. This is the last show in this little run that we've had, and I have to say, I'm going to be verklempt or something tomorrow. I'm going to be very sad. It's going to be,
It's hard.
yeah, it is hard, isn't it? Yeah, it is. What is? What? Oh no, I see. Yes, I see what you see. Yeah, yeah. No.
That's what everything is.
So let me sing you, please, a little romantic song, if I might, solo, because I had to at least have one standard, from the Great American Songbook, because they are exquisite. But I just felt like they're so overdone and everybody's doing it, and But this I couldn't help but include this because I did a version for these friends of mine, my videographers, who in fact just made a video of Hotline Bling, in which looks like Hitchcock. I mean, it is incredible. It's absolutely ridiculous and terrifying. And I got a blonde wig on, and I kind of look like a demented Janet Leigh. It's fantastic, and it's really extraordinary. Please check that out online. It's a thrill, and they were getting married, and I found out they told me, basically, because obviously they thought if they told me enough times I would do this, and I did, which is I would go in the studio and record their favourite song for them to get married to, because you can't do anything, for me, I can't give anything more personal than that. That tends to be what I try and do. So this was their favourite song, and so I did a version for their wedding, which was the I love you so much, I don't want the night to end, I'm so in love. Let's just keep going forever, and I can't wait to see you in the morning, and we're so in love. And I did that version, and then I did my version. And my version is the Welsh version, which is the depressed version, which is the melancholy version. And it's okay. It's okay, because melancholia makes great music, you know what I'm saying? Minor keys are good things. They're great. But the Welsh, the Welsh are born depressed, so don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about any of this. You really are. People say to me, what are the Welsh like? Are there any Welsh origin people in the audience? Here. One little clap. One little clap. That's how sad and melancholy it all is, isn't it, really? We're a defeated race. Well, as an actual Welsh person, I can tell you that when people say, what are the Welsh like? I say they're like the Irish without the fun. And the Irish are depressed anyway, they're just drunk, that's how they get through it. So it just gives you an idea of how bad this all is, but they were excellent. So, well, let me give you the Judith Owen version of this. Again, it's the bookend to Hotline Bling Starts the CD, which I know that you'll all be acquiring tonight. And the last song is this, because it's the other He's Not That Into You song, with a slightly different slant. You see, the original is I can't I don't want the evening to end because I love you so much and I'll see you first thing in the morning, but I just want to always be with you. My version is, I don't want the evening to end because I know I will never see you again. Because this is it. Again. I have felt this many times. And luckily then I found my true partner in life. But you know that feeling, where it's like, there's just not, there's no future is there, but I am crazy about this person. And I remember thinking when I went through this, thinking, God, I hope one day he'll think about me or dream about me and maybe just regret this choice. Just a tiny bit, even if it's just to make me feel better. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in that sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight. Tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. To linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream. Dream a little dream of me. In the summertime, when the weather tired. You're not better, darling. You're not me. You just love everybody. You do exactly what you feel. You go fishing, you go flying, sometimes you go swimming in the sea. You see the lives we're living, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's your philosophy. In the summertime, when the weather is hot, you can stretch right up, almost touch the sky when the weather is right. You got one on your mind. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. Have a drink, have a drive, and I'll go to see.
See what?
What you can find. Yeah. La 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 la, come along with me. La 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 la, come along with me. La 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 la, come along with me. La 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 la, come along with me. Ooh. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly for your life. You're only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see for your life. You're only waiting for this moment to be free. And into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly for your life. You're only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes, learn to see all your life. You're only waiting for this moment to be free. Yes, you're only waiting for this moment to be free. Mr. Leland Sklar. So this really is the last song. And I have, yeah, I know. Yeah. See what happened? Still bloody daylight outside. What the hell is going on here?
That's the gas station.
I have some thank you. I want to thank Peter, Keith, Brandon, Nick and Tracy here at Shank Hall for taking such great care of us today. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank Gabriella Nicotra on sound tonight. Woo! Martin Brown, my tour manager. Woo! Over there on the merch, please come over seriously, and because it means the world to us playing live, of course, but it means even more to get the cash for the CDs and to sign and to touch you, and you know, vinyl, you get to stroke the beard. Yeah, you've got to be careful, there's things living in that thing, you might come out and bite you, but no. Yeah. It's all too much, isn't it? I do think gigantic. Oh yes, sorry, I was going to say, before I get to the gigantics, over there on the merch counter we will be signing and saying hello and embracing you all deeply and meaningfully. But there is actually a bit of an emailing situation. I so want to find you once more if I come back to these parts of the woods, as it were. So please put your name and email down, and Milwaukee, obviously, so that I won't be trying to sell you pills, you know, to help your stamina or anything. Don't worry about this. I will only contact you when I'm coming to town and I'm wearing my cheese head. I'm actually a bit disappointed because we didn't get out today and buy a cheese head for Pedro, because he's never seen this. He's never experienced the whole cheese experience, okay, that happens here. I know. Look at him. Look at his little face. Yeah, I know you're very sad. Could have taken that back to Portugal and scored big time. So I have a giant cheese head. Richard Thompson bought me one, and then I paraded around town, just looking like a total dick. But I don't care, because it's a cheese head, and I wanted to really commit to this town. So anyway, so please leave your emails. That'd be fantastic. A gigantic, as I said before. I want to hear some screaming for the amazing, I can't even believe he came here tonight, Mr. Derek Smalls! Yes. We will be selling CDs there too, so make sure you pick those up, because seriously, it's astounding. We're talking Steve Vai, Steve Lukather, Joe Satriani, Waddy Wachtel, Dweezil Zappa, Rick Wakeman, oh God, Snarky Papi from Donald Fagen. It just goes on and on. It's just ridiculous. It's insane who's on this record. And the Budapest State Orchestra. Just that, you know. Just that. Come on, people. It really is. It's a work of art. But of course, I also need you to thank my incredible band. On percussion, truly the remarkable, it has been a joy being on the road with you yet again, Mr. Pedro Segundo. And Mr. Milwaukee himself, the man who was born an 8-pound beard. And truly, the greatest musical ally anybody could hope for. Tremendous, tremendous joy and honour to be on the stage with this man, the fabulous Mr. Leland Sklar. So, like I said, you know, I want to leave you on a sad song like that last one, crying, feeling dreadful. Although, you know, Blackbird, to me, it is the most uplifting song. I know it's a civil rights song, but for me, it is all about anybody who has ever struggled with life themselves, with this, with anything that has made them hide or not be seen completely, and to find freedom. Someone brought us cheese. Hang on, I was getting deep and meaningful. We've got cheese dice. Who are you, sir? You're just a guy. You're not, man. You're a saint. You're a saint of cheese. Patron saint of cheese just came to the stage.
Smells quite good.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. What do they smell of?
Not cheese,
Foam,
for sure.
not cheese, that's for sure. Don't eat that, Pedro, for God's sake. Thank you, sir. Incredible. Incredible moment that was, wasn't it? In the history of Shank Hall. But anyway, as I was saying in my deeply moving speech before the cheese came in, yeah, anybody that finds themselves, finds freedom and is able to be seen as fully as the person they were meant to be, it's an extraordinary thing, and it's a gift to be alive, that's for sure, and it's a gift to be on stage singing for you tonight. I mean that completely. I'm very grateful to be here doing this. And I would like to truly, and as I said, I live between London and New Orleans, so I want to leave you something which is uplifting in the flavour of New Orleans. And it's about, you know, you can imagine growing up in, well, you can't, but when you're growing up in Britain and you're growing up in London and you're listening to American music, particularly black American music, and you're just thinking, what the fuck is this? And what am I doing? Why am I, God, I'm white. And it's sort of like, you know, it's all those kind of, you know what I mean? It's sort of like, why? What's going on? We have no concept, but all we know is this is incredible music and we love it. And then you end up singing along in the car to, they're chatting again about the cheese. And you end up singing along to James Taylor and Carole King in the car, and then you hear your future bard and friend and ally and the man that I heard as a kid and idolized him. And then you end up working together. It's an incredible thing. But you end up, you're in Britain, you're wondering how you can get to that. And so I end up hearing all this music and going to the source, as I feel, ending up living in New Orleans. Harry and I living there. And there's something very magical and vindicating for me when I got anointed in the blessing from people down there who said, basically, you're one of us now, and you can do it. You do it. You've got that soulful voice. You're one of us. So, with a giant tongue in my own cheek, I present to you a song that you all know, slightly changed in order to encapsulate those feelings. I thank you all so very, very much for spending this evening with us. It has been an absolute delight. Thank you, and good night. Shall I start with the right chord?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay. Playing with a rock and roll band. play that funky music till you die, till you die, till you die. Ooh, oh, oh. Till I kept on fighting. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Ooh, and every step of the way, I said I must go back there. I gotta go back and check out if things were the same. Feel dancing, moving to the groove, and just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white girl. Play that funky music, right. Play that funky music, white girl. Play funky music, and you play that funky music till you die, till you die, till you die, till you die. Oh, 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 oh. Play, baby, why don't you play it? Why don't you play it, white girl? Why don't you play it, baby? Why don't you play it, baby? Why don't you play it, white girl? That funky music till you die. Thank you so much. Good night.